Hello everybody and welcome back. This is Not a Pro Gardener here. We are in Zone 6B. Now today it is about 80 degrees roughly, a little breeze blowing, which is nice, but today we got to get out here and harvest some of this stuff. Now we're going to show you our ground vining tomato method, the way we showed you how to turn one tomato plant into three, which is a cheap, easy, and effective way to save money and time and space in your raised beds or in your in-ground. Haven't tried it in the in-ground yet, but in the raised bed, we're gonna see how it did. Now, this tomato trick, I think I'm going to be doing it again in the next year coming around, but I am very pleased with the results that came from this. Now, is the ground vining method better? Well, we'll pop up a few images of some of our older videos that you'll get to kind of check out if you have spare time. It'll show you what we did to plant them and the videos leading up to where we are now. And now we're just going to kind of put a recap on how it did and what I think about it. And should you be doing this, and is it better than the regular planting method? Other than that, we got this huge garden harvest we need to get to. Now, like I said, we are in Zone 6B. Now, it's a little past time for me to be harvesting some of this stuff, but I'm just now getting around to it. It's the last weekend in August, and today we are going to be going to check out our raised bed tomato planting. This experiment, we are very, very happy with the results that came from it, because I turned one tomato plant into three using this ground vining method, which you'll see in a little bit the results of that. Now, we're going to be harvesting some of our giant butternut squash. We got those from the Lazy Dog Farm. I'll pop up the image of that for that video if you want to see me direct seed, or if you want to see me seed start these guys, and you'll kind of see where they came from and all that stuff. And we did pretty decent with them. Now, that whole time I was sick for about a month, I didn't get a chance to water them any extra, and we happened to have literal drought go on during that, which kind of stunted them a little bit. They ain't as big as I wanted them to be, and I ended up growing three instead of one for my big hefty, you know what I'm saying? I am probably not going to weigh these. I think this year I'm just going to accept and clean some seeds out and eat them or can them, whatever I got time to do. Now, the honey nut squash, those are going to get harvested as well. I don't know how those turned out. They sat out in the sun a lot longer than I wanted them to, so we're going to just see how they turned out. Some of them might be chicken food or rabbit food, stuff like that. And the watermelons, as I said, this stuff sat out here a little longer than I wanted it to, so they might be a little overdone, a little ripe. They might be perfect. I don't know. We're going to check them out and see how I did. So let's go ahead and check it out. All right, so just walking up to it, as you can see, lots of harvesting that needs done. It's just been a little hot to get out here just yet, and I've had more things that are pressing matters to take care of. But this is what it looks like. Since me being sick, it kind of got neglected, but a lot of harvesting needs to be done. I'll be getting to that here soon, and I'm probably going to try to leave these in the raised bed for as long as I can this winter, just to kind of squeeze those last few tomatoes I can out of there. And you know, it's nice to have your own tomatoes. Not buying those from the store is pretty nice. But as you can see, this thing is absolutely huge. So I got one plant here. The root ball to begin with, I planted this one, and then I got another one off of it by using that ground vining method. And if you're interested in seeing that, just click one of the little, there'll be a little card up here somewhere with an image of the thumbnail. You can watch those videos to see how I did that, but this is the result. It's not as good as it could look because I was sick for about a month and couldn't get out here, but as you can see, these guys grew all the way up this 6-foot tall trellis, and that's pretty amazing. One plant on the other side's a cherry tomato I got 3 plants out of, and this side is the Better Boy, I believe a hybrid indeterminate that I planted here for good disease resistance so I could have it here for as long as possible. And I made 3 tomato plants out of that one by planting this ground vining method. Now, if you're interested, just check that video out to see more. But other than that, the only reason some of these look so rough is because I haven't been able to get out here and water them because I was sick for a month and to take care of them and harvest them. So other than that, I think it looks pretty good. The vine growth is a lot. Like, this plant is like huge. And I have clipped some of them off that has come down here. Like, those need to be clipped off eventually after I pick all that. And I think it turned out pretty good. So I will be doing that again, but I think next year I'm going to do it with a giant tomato variety. So let's see how that turns out. Maybe I can cook something up that's pretty interesting. I got some ideas for trellising some of those in the in-ground garden as well, so we'll see how that works out. Now on to the mess over here. This is the corner of the in-ground garden by the greenhouse. As you can see, all this grew up when I was sick for a month. It's pretty bad. Not really a fan of showing it off, but everybody faces this problem. And the best thing is not to get discouraged and don't be afraid to just start over. So what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to mow the rest of this off, clean it out with a rake the best I can. I'm going to clip down the sides of my poles here, get all the strings and all this nightshades out of here. I'm going to throw them on the burn pile and burn them after I clean harvest everything. And then I'm going to tarp the rest of this plot. And hopefully by the end of September or sometime in September, I'll be able to plant a cover crop out here and grow it all the way through October. That way it gets to be a nice and thick cover crop to deposit as much weed suppression and to deposit as much material down as possible. You want to have that carbon in your soil, helps hold water, you know, stuff like that. This is the carnage on this side of the plot. And I had 3 giant butternut squash in here. I was hoping that I was going for just one to grow that giant one, and it just didn't work out. I mean, I didn't have time to do it. I was sick, you know, going in between doctor visits and stuff. But here's the other 2 that I had. They're the same size, just a hair bit smaller as the other one, but they'll eat all the same. So that's gonna be all covered up in tarp hopefully here soon after I mass harvest everything, which will be in the evening when it's not so hot. I'm going to kind of clean out some of these giant butternut squash vines and try to get all that out of there. I don't want them eggs in there. I don't want them, you know, overwintering or harboring in the soil or whatever they can do. Because usually we have a hardy enough winter that I think it keels them down, like keels them off. So I just want to make sure I get all this stuff out here so I don't have that problem in the future. And it looks like we got another banana spider out here. They seem to like our garden quite a bit. I'll have to relocate this guy. Looks like she's got something in there. If I can get the camera to focus, as you can kind of see, she's got something. Ooh, fly just landed in her trap and she noticed pretty quick too. So anyway, I'm gonna have to relocate her or him and then get all these vines out of here. Usually I trellis them up these poles all the way up, but it's just didn't happen. So other than that, we've had plenty of tomatoes, just didn't get a chance to can any because I've been sick. So hopefully whatever I get out of here, maybe I'll get to can something. So what I'm looking for is this curlicue here. If you can get a see on that. She's pretty dry. That's pretty dry and it's right across from the stem. And usually the bottom will have a pretty creamy yellow spot on it if it's been sitting out in the sun long enough. It sits there long enough, it'll get it. And that's pretty close. It's been sitting there longer, so I think it's kind of been getting eaten away. But we're gonna try them out and see how they did. They didn't get very big because when I was sick, I didn't really get a chance to water them and take care of them or anything, so. All right, everybody. So, we're gonna try to cut this one open. This is the one that was in that video where I showed you the curlicue that was so dried up. Now, the bottom has kind of a creamy yellow, but it looks like it was rubbed off or something was eating it or is just decaying off of it. So this thing's either too ripe or it's just right. I usually like to leave them a couple weeks out past when I think they're ready, but this one's been out for about 4 weeks past, so we're just gonna try it and see what happens. Well, it's kind of splitting on its own, so that's a good sign, I guess. Ooh, might be a little under. Feels pretty firm though. It's a little under, but it's still pretty sweet. I mean, that'll do for me for a snack, but other than that, it wasn't a complete waste. Even if they wasn't ripe, I'll still give them to the chickens and I'll still get something out of it, and I'll still give some to the rabbits and I'll still get something out of them. Okay, so this is my biggest giant butternut squash, and I have cut some open from up at my in-ground garage plot, and they almost have like a cantaloupe-like feature in the inside, and almost like spaghetti squash feature at the same time. The weird thing is I sliced it raw and tried a little piece of me and the kids, and it actually had like a semi-sweet base to it. So I think it'd be pretty good to can and like chunk it up. I'm gonna try canning it like that, chunking it up, and then I'm going to kind of use it as like a dessert or a potato substitute, something like that. So hopefully that kind of works out pretty good, because there's quite a bit of meat on there, and I'm very interested in canning it to see how it does. So on to the honey nut squash. All right, so this is the base of pretty much what I got. Anything smaller than that I'll probably give to the rabbits and the chickens as a snack, but since I didn't get a chance to water anything, it didn't really get the size I wanted it to. These are about what they recommended that it was going to grow, but I was going to try to push them a little bit more and maybe get them all plump like that, but they're just all misshapen because hardly any of them got any water. So what we're going to do is keep what we got. I ain't going to throw nothing away, but anything smaller than that's just going to be a snack for the animals. Whew. All right, this is Not a Pro Gardener here. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you enjoyed the video and you want to support the channel, share, like, and subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. I know we got a lot of subscribers, but go ahead and hit that subscribe button. No big deal. It helps support the channel and gets me out there to other viewers to enjoy these nice garden videos. So this is Not a Pro Gardener here. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you next time out here in the garden. Have a great day.